Welcome. This is going to be a full tutorial on exactly how to use and leverage generalist AI for content production. I'm going to go over every single one of these tabs right here, as well as their specific use cases. So let's first get started with the Generate Articles tab. Now, once you click here, you're prompted with all this, right? These essentially are the inputs you're giving the AI to be able to produce content, right? So first things first is I'm going to go over all these ones, then I'm going to talk about presets, which is a way in which you can save all the inputs you give to the AI. So in the future, if you don't generate articles with the same inputs, you can. So let's start with the base right here. So there's 4 generation mode, right? I'm going to go over these 3 first, and in the end, I'm going to go over this one. So the keyword generation mode is essentially where you add multiple keywords, for example, how to tie a tie, right? Or how to ride a bicycle. That's a keyword. Or for example, school backpacks, right? For example, or you can add as many keywords as you want here, right? And then the AI is going to be producing content based and optimized for these specific keywords, right? Pretty straightforward. Then we have the titles mode, right? Which, similarly to the keywords, it takes the input of your titles and produces articles with these titles, right? And of course, all the content, right? All the rest of the content, this is the article you give it, right? And all the rest of the content is based on this title right here, right? So we can do, for example, how to, or beginner's guide to driving, I guess, a car, right? And again, you can add as many titles as you want, and the AI is going to be producing content based on these titles. Now, third is the description mode. Essentially, it's quite self-explanatory. What you do here is you give it a context, a description of your site, of your business, and it essentially generates the content based on that description. Now, I'm going to leave the keyword monitor generation mode for later on, because I do want to go over what it does in specific, because it's tied in with this feature down here, which I'll go over again later on. So that's the first one. The second one is the content, right? Here is where you can select the language. You can produce content in over 150 different languages. So if you're targeting international markets, this is quite handy. You can also change the target country. So in this case, you have US. But essentially what this does is, because you're also able to add links to your articles, right, and connect this to the web, which I'll show you in a second how it's done, you might want to choose your target country. Because, for example, if your article is in English, right, you don't want links to go out to, if your article is targeting the US, right, because it's in English, it could have links to UK sites or even Australian sites, right? You don't want this, right? You want the target country, right, to be known as the US, so it links out to these sites that are also in the US, right? Not UK or Australia, right? So again, it's so you can localize the content you're producing. And again, you can choose any country you'd like here. For example, Portuguese is spoken both in Brazil and in Portugal, right? And if I want to keep my articles local, right, if I'm typing an article about local laws in Portugal, I don't want it to link to Brazilian sites, because again, the laws in different countries are different, even though the languages are the same, okay? Then you can choose the creativity levels, right? If you want the articles to be written in a more creative or original form, or in a more correct or factual form. This again, you'll choose this based on how you want your articles to come across in a written form. You can also change the tone of voice. You can put anything you want here, funny, informal, academic. You can play around with this. You can even do it a little bit sarcastic if you want, right? Again, it's the tone of voice, the manner in which the content is written. Then the point of view, right? Pretty self-explanatory as well. This is how the articles are written, right? Are they written in the first person plural? We, us, our, or ours. First person singular, I, me, my, mine. Second person or third person, right? Again, pretty self-explanatory, and essentially if you choose this, the article is going to be written in the first person singular. The same thing for all the others, right? Also, you can give it custom instructions. Now, we'll use these instructions to generate each paragraph. These instructions do not affect the headings. So again, if we have, for example, an article right here, right, with the title, right, then a heading saying whatever it is with the paragraph below, right, then another heading right here with the paragraph below, right. Let's say, for example, you add a rule here or a custom instruction saying don't use the word cat, or something like, for example, don't talk about X, Y, Z, whatever, right? It will take these custom instructions into account, right, and apply them to the content within the paragraph itself. So, for example, if you have this rule right here, don't use the word cat, we won't use it in the paragraph, right, but we might use it in the titles, Okay, so just know that these rules only apply to the paragraphs themselves, right? Moving on to the knowledge tab right here. This is where essentially you can connect your the content to the web. So if you enable this, we'll search on Google for similar topics to generate up-to-date content. So if you want to produce up-to-date content, you just enable this so it's connected to the web. So the articles you write are up-to-date with information, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Now here, brands. I'm going to go over a broad overview here, but then I want to go over, of course, a detailed overview. But essentially what this is you can create a brand, and once it's created, and of course I'll show you how to create one, you can select it here, right? And what's this doing right here is once you connect, again, I'll go over exactly how to create a brand. Once you connect your brand, right? This is your brand. With Journalist AI, your brand has multiple assets, right? Your website is an asset. Your LinkedIn page is an asset. Your YouTube as well, maybe even some text documents, even maybe some audio documents, right, etc. All of these are brand assets, right? And what you're doing when you're connecting Journalist AI with your brand is essentially you're making Journalist AI as knowledgeable as you are, you being the owner or founder or operator of the brand. And so Journalist AI knows as much as you do about your brand. So it's able to produce brand-tailored content, right, with your brand's tone of voice, your brand's mannerisms. Essentially, Journalist AI is now the brain of your brand, so the content it produces is not generic, right? It's not AI generic content, it's brand-tailored content, which is a very, very powerful feature, okay? And I'll go over how to create one and how to give it all these inputs, but just know that this is where you would apply the brand. Okay, moving on to formatting. This essentially is where you can enable and disable certain aspects of the articles. Do you want tables? Do you want bolded out words? If you don't, you can just disable these like so. Pretty self-explanatory. Then moving on to structure. Now, this is where you can enable and disable all of these sections right here. Key takeaways section, which is a section at the top of the article, that shows the key takeaways. A conclusion, again, section at the bottom of the article that concludes the article, right? FAQs is another section at the bottom of the article with frequently asked questions. Again, this might be disable or enable according to what you're producing, and you can also automate your headings. Now, if you disable this, you can write them for yourself if you'd like, right? You can add your headings here, you can add as many as you want. Now, one thing you do need to keep in mind is, for example, let's say if I leave these all blank, these will all be generated with AI. Even if I just do this, and all are auto-generated, and like so, all as well, right? Because they're blank. Now, but if I just do this, for example, why is Elon Musk selling Twitter? And if I only do this, right? Now, because I've set the H2 to be, because I forced the H2 to be this, all of these three H3s will be generated with AI, of course, but based on this one right here, okay? Do take that into account. And of course, all the content within these as well. Now, if I were to add one right here, H3, these would be generated with AI as well as the paragraphs inside based on this one and on this one. So by forcing this H2 and this H3, you're giving context to the AI to write the following two, as well as the paragraphs. So just know that, again, you can leave some of these blanks, you can fill some in, and the ones you leave blank, will be generated with AI, but not randomly. They will be generated with AI, but taking into account what you have here in the H2 or even H3s, right? If you just have this H3 right here, you're going to force the AI to come up with an H2 based on this H3, right? And of course, these two as well. So that's pretty interesting, but I'll usually just leave this to automate. Now, this right here, call to action, this is quite a valuable feature. Let's say this is your article, right? There's the title right here, there's a featured image, there's a bunch of stuff, but down here, if you add a link here, there's going to be a dedicated paragraph right here, right, with your call to action. Let me give you a couple of examples. Let's say, for example, this is an article about gardening, right? You talk about gardening supplies, how to set up a garden as a beginner, right? And let's say you have a Shopify store. If you add your link to your Shopify store right here, right, we are going to add a custom section, a whole paragraph with a call to action to the products on your Shopify store, right? Again, article about gardening. Down here is going to be an actually call to action with a proper title, right? The proper context right here. And of course, an anchor text, that's the text with a link that links out to your Shopify store, right? Again, this can be a Shopify store. For example, if you're a plumber or a plastic surgeon, if you add in here the link to your contacts page or the booking page, right? We will add a custom section that's not put in here randomly, right? The section here and the whole context of the section takes into account the whole context of the article, right? The paragraph in here takes into account the context as a whole, as well as the anchor text and the site it links out to. So none of this is random, right? Essentially, what this is again is you can set up an automatic call to action. Again, we'll add an extra H3 to your articles with a call to action to this URL. Okay, so essentially a custom call to action to your service, product, or offer. Okay. Also, you can also change the article size, small, medium, large. You can play around with this as you like. Okay. Then moving on to internal linking, right? This is where, right, instead of the article, right, you can, if you like, you can have links, right? Internal links are links that link out to your own site. So, for example, they link out to your site's homepage, maybe they link out to your site's contacts page, maybe they link out to a specific blog post 1, or they link out to blog post 2, right? So these will link out to pages inside of your site, right? Let me show you an example here. What you do, you just add your sitemap right here, and usually it's your URL /sitemap.xml. So let's do this right here. Let me add this sitemap, and I can do test and preview, right? This is going to come up with all the links present on my site, right? All these are specific blog posts, specific pages, right? These are all the links on, or all the pages on this site. Now, I do have some pages here which I might not want to link to, so tag pages, not really interested in doing this. Author pages, not at all as well. So I can filter here, and I can only, for example, link to maybe product pages. So I can just do this, click test and preview, and now only the internal links will only be linked out to product pages. So let me just wait for this to load right here. As you can see here, these are all product pages. Okay. So again, if I wanted inside of my article to have links scattered throughout the article in a way that makes sense, link out to my product pages, I can do so by filtering the sitemap as such. I can add multiple sitemaps as well. In case you want this, you can do it as well. Okay, so that's exactly how you add internal links to your site, to your article, sorry. Now, moving on to external linking, right? You can just, with a simple click of a button, enable automatic links, right? We'll scrape the internet for relevant articles in your niche language, and we'll add them. Again, internal links are links, right? For example, let's say this article is about finance, right? We'll link out to, for example, Bloomberg. Maybe we can link out to TechCrunch, maybe even Investopedia or Wikipedia. So it links to external authoritative sources in your niche. Maybe Forbes, who knows? This again will depend on your niche. You can do so by doing just this, right? Now there's 3 sections right here. The include external sources, the exclude external sources, and the extra link section. So let's start with the exclude, right? This is if you want to block certain links. Let's say, for example, you have an article written and you don't want the article to link out to a competitor. You can place all of your competitors here, right? Or some of them are the ones you know, and we'll make sure that no external link will go out to a competitor of yours. Or maybe you don't want to link to certain specific domains, you can also place them here. So this is where you can exclude certain sites from being linked out to, okay? Now, this one, include external sources. What this does is it only links from these websites will be included, and you can leave it blank to include all sites. For example, if you add and go here and add wikipedia.org, right? What this will do is it will add, right, inside of your article, multiple links, right? Only from Wikipedia. So you can link out to wikipedia.org/ABC, wikipedia.org/dinosaurs, wikipedia.org/plumbing. Again, most likely it won't do this because if your article is for a certain niche, for the niche of finance, it will link out to Wikipedia/finance, Wikipedia/stock options, Wikipedia/finance related terms, right? So, because none of these links are random. Now, the way in which you can force links to be, or external links to be included, is in the extra links tab. So you go here, and here's where you can force links to be included. For example, Wikipedia, that's Wikipedia/plumber, right? And you can also change the anchor text. So again, in the example above, right, the articles will be generated and will link out to any page inside of Wikipedia, right? Wikipedia/1, Wikipedia/2, and any page inside this site. That is, of course, relevant to your niche and language. But if you want to force a specific page or a site or a domain, right, a page or a domain, you can do so here. And you can also choose the anchor text, because with this, the anchor text, which is the text you click in, is random. Not random, but it's assigned automatically for you with AI. Here, you can have it be done by you. So again, if you have a specific link you want to link out to, you want to make sure it's linked out to, you can do so here. And again, you can also choose the anchor text. So again, sum up, this is a way in which you can exclude certain sites domains, pages, whatever, to be linked out to. This is a way you can set it so the AI links only, right, to links or to pages within the URLs you add here, right? And this is a way in which you can force certain page sites to be linked out to, as well as force the anchor text you want it to be or to have. Okay, so this is where the external linking comes in. And then moving on to images, here's where you can select, the types of images you want your article to have, right? You want to use stock photos, Google images, custom images, and to add your custom images, you'll go here. Again, I'll go over this later on, but you can select custom images and you can also filter them. Again, I'll go over these ones once you reach this right here. And finally, you can choose any of these AI models to generate AI-based images. If you do select AI models, you can select the prompt, right? You can make them look however you want them, like hyper-realistic, cartoonish, black and white, realistic. You can play around with this. You can essentially type anything here, and any style you type here, the images will be generated in this style, okay? You can also disable and enable the featured image. That's the images that shows up on top of the articles. And in article images, you can also enable and disable them. Finally, videos down here, you can automate this. So if you just select this, we will go through the article, write it, of course, then go on YouTube and find, okay, what's the most relevant video we can add to your article, and we'll find it and we'll add it to the article. Not just randomly, right? We won't just add the video randomly. We'll add it in a section in which it makes sense, okay? And to do this, you just enable this. Now, if you want to force some videos, just disable this and add them here. You can add as many as you'd like. Okay, after that, you just go here, select how many articles you want to generate, and click Generate, right? Now, if you wanted to save all of this that you were doing here, just go to Presets, and you hit Create New Preset, right? And you do fill in your preset right here, right? Fill in all the things you want. Give it a name, right? My test preset, and click Create Preset. So if I go here to my presets, you'll see I have all of these presets pre-written. So if I go here to my dog grooming preset, right, all of this, as you can see, is pre-filled. High creativity levels, first person. There's a structure with my links here, internal linking setup with my sitemap, external linking as well, images. I want to hyper-realistic. So all this is saved as my preset. And when I go here to generate articles, I can just load in my preset right here. Again, and select how many articles I want to generate and click Generate. So again, I generate articles based on my presets. So this is just a nice way to essentially have your presets for different niches, different sites, different customers loaded in here, so you can produce content without having to fill all these things every single time. So that's the generation part of things. Now, if you go to history, of course, you can check all of your articles that I've generated. If I go here, I can open them up as such, click View. And I can, of course, skim through the article, right, compare on this, and I can also click Next if there are more articles to view. If not, I can just exit this and go to History tab again. Let me just open one right here that has multiple articles as such. This one right here, click View. And again, I can skim through these articles and see all the ones that I've just produced. Now, I can also click here to Post to Integration, right? I'm going to go one by one and Post to Integration. Now, what are these integrations? These integrations are essentially where you can publish content out to. So you can connect this with WordPress, Shopify, Ghost, Wix, Webflow, Blogger, even Zapier or an external API. Meaning, again, if you go here to History, you can go through the articles that you just generated, click View, and you can click Post. And once you click Post each one of your integrations, right, the blog post you see here will be published to one of those integrations. Again, whether that's your WordPress site, Shopify store blog, Wix, Blogger, whatever, it will be posted out to them. And you can skim through these articles and post them one by one, or you can just go here and click Publish All to Integration. Of course, you have to select your integration. This is my WordPress site, for example. Publish All, in this case, all three will be automatically published to my site. Okay. Now, we can also zip here the articles in HTML or Markdown form, right? It's pretty cool right here. And yeah, let's move on. So, third tab is the All Articles tab. This is where you see all the articles one by one that you've generated. So you have access to all this here. You can also filter them by tags and Autoblog. I'll show you in a second what Autoblog is. And of course, if you go here to History again, I can tag my articles if I like it. Just go here, click View, click this little icon right here. This opens up my article in this funny editor, and I can tag it right here for test 1, create test 1, right? And in this case, it's been saved. So if I go here to all articles and filter by test 1, this article right here, click Apply, is going to show up right here. Okay, so it's yet another way in which you can leverage tags to organize yourself. Now, one thing that is more is you can edit this article, right? You just go on any article, right, and click Create Revision, right? And this allows you to manually make some changes to your articles, right? Let's say, for example, the AI added an image you don't like. Just delete it and add a new one. Let's say, for example, the AI didn't add a link here, and you wanted the link here. Just go here, click this, and add your link right here. So again, this is a standard HTML editor which you can use to change anything you want inside of the articles: image, videos, links, H1s, H2. So again, if I go here, I can just make this an H3 if I'd like. I can add bullets here if I'd like. Again, a standard HTML editor like the ones we all know. Okay, so again, this is where you can make these changes to your articles. Again, you can also tag the articles as you want. You can also, if you want, just send them straight to your integration from here, right? Change the titles, change the meta description if you like, hit save, right? And this will show as a revised article. Again, if you go here to all articles, this is a revised article, right? We have the original one, but we also have the revised article because it's different from the original one, right? Again, these revisions allow you to have a bit more control over the AI, which is quite nice. Now, we went over the presets already. Let's go to brands. Again, this is where you can make the articles be written in your brand's tone of voice, brand's mannerisms. What you do is you go here and click new brand, right? Name it whatever you want. Let's name it just test 1 and create brand. Now, once it's created, now it's time to add your assets. Go here and click add asset. Now, by the time you're watching this video, there might be some more here. At the moment, there's only these two. But again, you can add your website as an asset. Just do this. Add asset, let's call it my website, add asset. All right, I can add more assets. I can add some text documents. Here, for example, you could add the about us of your company, right? You could add, I don't know, some text document that talks about what you do, who you are, why you do it, right? The more context and the more assets you can give to the AI, the more it's able to learn, right? So again, the more stuff you can add here, again, text documents, audio, YouTube, video files, anything you can add here, the better, the more we are able to train the AI to produce brand-tailored content, right? Now, once that's done, in this case, I only added my website as an asset, but what this will do is when I'm producing the articles, if I go here to generate articles again and go to my knowledge tab, and if I select the brand that I just created, right? In this case, the only assets that is associated with the brand is my website, but we will take this site into account, right? Before generating the articles, it will go through my site, right? It will learn who the site is, right? What's the URL, what keywords it has. It will read through the About Us page. It will read through the whole site to make sure that the content is as brand tailored as possible, right? For example, if my brand is a karting brand, right? I have a place where people can rent karts to drive them, right? In case maybe that I didn't have my brand connected, it would maybe just write a generic article about karting, and if I added here internal and external linkings and even a call to action up there, it would add a couple of links to my article. But because I'm adding a brand here, because it's going to my website and learning who we are, what we do, and why we do it, the article itself, right, you're going to see it's written in a fashion that isn't gimmicky, right? It uses some of the words you guys use. For example, let's say you have some private jokes in your site or some actual names or things that are proprietary, to you guys. It will use them and it will scheme and sprinkle them throughout the article. So again, it will look more human, which is an amazing feature right here with the brands. Again, brands, you can enable them here. You can add as many assets as you want. The more assets you are able to add, the better, and the more brand tailored the content will be. Okay, moving on to custom images, right? Here's where you can add your own custom images. I added here too, as you can see. And again, if you go to the generate articles tab, here the images, you can just select custom images, and if you just leave it like this, it will use all the images you have here in the custom images. Now, if you want to filter it, for example, let's say you have images here for client A and client B. You want to make sure you tag the images. So if you open this one and tag this as Portugal, for example, and you open this one and tag this as screenshots, right? And let's say again you want to generate articles, and sometimes you want, of course, use your own custom images, but sometimes you might want to use only one type of images, and another time other type of images. Just go here and filter it by tag. So if you just choose screenshots, we're going to use your custom images, but only the ones tagged as screenshots. And this will come into play when we set up the Autoblogs. But just know that it is possible to have multiple custom images, as many as you want, right? And then use them in your articles, but only use the ones you want, right? Only use the ones you want that are tagged as certain things. Again, you do this by going here, uploading the images, clicking them, and of course, tagging here them with anything you want, right? Okay, you can tag them even with multiple tags. Just hit save. That's that. Okay. Now, Autoblogs. This is where you can have Journalist AI automatically generate and publish content to your integrations, right, to your site. To do this, just click on New Autoblog, right? Now, you can name this whatever you want, my Autoblog 1, right? And you're going to have to select a preset, right? Remember the ones that we just generated. You can just go here and click, for example, my dog grooming preset, because the blog will need to take in some info, in this case the info from the preset, to be able to both generate and publish the content, right? Here you choose how many articles you want, right? And the frequency. You want to be publishing every month, weekday, every 12 or 6 hours, right? Now, if you just go here and publish every week, this doesn't mean that 20 articles will be posted all at the same time at Monday, right? You can change the frequency, and I'll go over exactly how to do it, right? But just know here in your Autoblog is where you can essentially connect Journalist AI with your blog, your integration. Again, your integration could be your WordPress site, Shopify, Blogger, Wix, all the ones that I show you here, right? And it's generating plus it's publishing 20 blog posts every week based on this preset right here, right? Based on the preset that you created. In this case, it's my dog grooming preset that produces articles in the dog grooming niche. It has my website for internal links, it has my call to action, it has my external sources, all that set up right in my preset. And again, you can choose any preset you want, okay? And then, of course, you have to select your integration, right? Again, to set up an integration, just go here to integrations and create new integration. You can, of course, connect with any single site you want of these, right? Now, again, going here to Autoblogs, new Autoblog, you go here, select your integration, click enable, right? And once you click create new Autoblog, your Autoblog will be running. And of course, to check on your Autoblogs, just go here to Autoblogs and you'll see the ones that are running. In this case, mine are all paused, but of course, I can just go here, I can enable them, right? If I do enable this and click save, in this case, 2 articles will be posted every day to my integration called Curation, which is one WordPress site of mine, using the preset Curation, okay? That's that, pretty straightforward. I'm just gonna hit cancel here, okay? Now, if you go to integrations right here, and let me go to my WordPress integration, again, these both are WordPress integrations, just click here. Here is where you can set the frequency in between, or the time gap between each post. So if I go here, I can select how many time you want to pass between each post being published. So you want to be 15 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours, 1 day, 2 days, or no gap. So again, like I said before, if you have your Autoblog set to produce, in this case, 5 articles every week, right? They're not all going to be published on Monday, okay? You can change that by going to integrations, selecting the settings of your integration, just wait for this to load a bit, and change that time gap here. Again, it can be 2 days, 1 day, 4 hours, 1 hour, 15 minutes. You can play around with this as you want. Now, furthermore, in these settings right here, you can change, right, who you want the post to be published under. It can be admin, can be any user you want. These are all users on this WordPress site. Okay, you can choose and play around with this. Maybe you want the post to be published by someone else other than the admin. Again, you can play around with this to choose the author. Okay, status you can choose, right? Because the articles, once they're pushed out to WordPress or any integration, right, they don't have to be live, right? You can make them a draft. You can make them private, right? You can, if you do a draft and if you want to revise the articles before they do go live, you can do so by making the status of them be draft. So again, they're going to go from Journalist AI using the Autoblog to your site, but they're going to be set to draft. Again, this is using the WordPress integration, but if you use any other integration, there's also different status in which you can have the articles go to. This will depend, of course, on the integration. For example, for Shopify or Ghost, these names might be different, okay? You can also set the tags. So do you want the articles to be published maybe just to your blog, right? Maybe you have different categories inside of your blog. You can choose the categories to which you want these articles to be pushed out to. Again, just giving you a bit more control over where you want the articles to be pushed out to. You can also tag them if you like and hit save, and then your integration is saved, okay? Again, here integrations, for example, if I go to my Ghost integration, which is yet another CMS, I can choose, right, in this case only 3, because Ghost only has these 3 status for drafts, for public posts, I can choose when I'm pushing my articles from Journalist AI using the Autoblog to my Ghost website integration. I can choose if I want them drafted, scheduled, or published. Again, you can play around with this depending on your integration. Again, with Webflow right here, they only allow me to go either draft or live. Again, you can play around with this depending on what your integration is. To set up any of these integrations, again, go here to new integrations. This is pretty straightforward. For WordPress, just add whatever name you want. Just add your site URL, your username, and your application password. Now, the application password it takes 30 seconds to gather. Just go here to watch tutorial. It's 30 to 60 seconds. It's just going into your settings and copying the code and pasting it here. Click create and you're done, right? For Shopify, similar, just add your integration name, whatever it is, add your shop name and add your access token. To get your access token, sorry, just go to watch tutorial. It's 30 seconds. You'll learn exactly how to get it. Just like copy and pasting from your settings. Pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, just go here and ask for help, but you should be able to get it done quite easily. Ghost, more or less the same thing, right? Your integration name, your site URL, the admin key. Again, if you want the admin key, just go watch the tutorial. 30 seconds, you'll know exactly how to do it. Again, you can also choose the author, just like with WordPress, and the status, and also, of course, the time gap right here. Wix, more or less the same thing. All these are similar, right? They're going to have you write an integration name and of course, a site ID or an API key every single time, right? And choose the author and the type or the status in which you want your article to be published in. In this case, for example, Wix only allows for draft or live. WordPress, as you saw, allowed for a couple other options. And Webflow, again, more or less the same thing. All these are quite easy. Blogger, again, quite similar. This one just connecting to Google. Zapier and external API. If you want to set up this as Zapier, just name it whatever you want. Click create, and then, excuse me, once you go here to your integrations, here is where you can set it up as what you wish. This is your integration key. Again, if you go to Zapier, if you go inside of Zapier, just use this key to set up your Zapier integrations. And finally, I want to show you the last one, external API. This, of course, you have to get in touch with us if you want access to this, at least for now. So if you do want access to your external API, just go here and ask for access. Now, going here to indexers, this is where essentially you can automatically have your content submitted to Google. If you click create new indexer and just connect your Google Search Console, we will, on any article that you push to either one of your integrations, push it out so it's actually indexed faster in Google. So again, you just go here, connect with Google, and any article, maybe you go here to your history tab and publish them manually, like so. Just click here to view, of course, click here to publish your integration, or here again publish, or even here, or even ones that you set up with your Autoblog. All these that will go out to your integrations. If you have an indexer set up, they will also be pushed out excuse me, and be automatically we will try to index them as fast as we can, because we have them straight connected with your Google Search Console. So again, set it up, just go to the indexers, new indexer, connect with the Google, name it whatever you want, right? Whatever you want, can do whatever you want, and it will essentially, on any article that's published to the integration you choose, will be submitted to indexing Google, so it is indexed a bit faster. Now, publications. This is where you see access for all of the content that was pushed out to or through your Autoblogs, or maybe even manually. So again, you can go here, click one, and this was an article published through my Autoblog name, right? The integration right here, the title of the article, the URL of the article, and also the indexation status. Because this Autoblog isn't connected to an indexer, it wasn't indexed. Okay, again, if I wanted to do this, just go here to indexers. I have this one set up for my other WordPress website, but if I wish to have these other articles, the ones here in the publications tab that are connected to the curation integration that is connected to my curation website, another website for WordPress, I'd have set it up here in the indexers. Okay, so again, the publications tab allows you to have a bit of an overview of the content that's being pushed out to your integrations. Right, all the things that appear here are essentially any type of content that was pushed out either through your Autoblogs or manually by going to the history or articles tab. Okay, again, all the things you see here are posts that were pushed through your integrations. Again, you can see here, click on each one of these to have a bit more information, right? You can go here to any of these and see all the information you have. If you're seeing this later on, we're going to probably add more info here, but for now, that's all the info you have, okay? Then, keyword monitors. This is where you can essentially have, journalists say I have generated keywords for you. So if I go here, create a new one, I add my name, add my site URL, add my country, and also add the target language, just do English, and then click refresh or generate. It will give me all these keywords. So it'll give me a list of keywords with low difficulty, low SEO difficulty. So in theory, it means that these are easy to rank for in theory, and some decent search volumes, right? I can go here, I can enable this to refresh me and give me new keywords every day. Maybe I want to be given new keywords every week, right? And let me just save this real quick here. And I can choose, of course, here the frequency at which I want it to give me new keywords, right? And these are all keywords that journalists say will give me based on my URL, based on my country, based on my language, and also based on all my competitors, of keywords that I should be producing content for, right? And if I go here to my Generate Articles tab and select Generation Mode be Keyword Monitor, I can select either one of the keyword monitors that I saved. This one was the gardening site, and I can select for what keywords I want to produce content for, right? So again, if I go here to my keyword monitors, select the gardening site monitor right here, it will be producing content based on all these keywords, again, depending on the ones I select, that you see here, right? So this is very, very powerful. Essentially, what this does is Journalist AI is connecting to your website right here, and it's generating the content, right? It's publishing the content. It's also indexing the content, as you saw before, but it's also doing the keyword research for you, right? So it does the whole 9 yards for you, okay? This is how all this works. Now, we have some features here that may be or may not be in experimental phase as you're watching this video. This one is the build links feature. This essentially allows you to update old content with new links, right? So for example, let me go here and select an integration. Let me select my WordPress integration, right? And if I do here, select this, it will be going through my site and seeing all the pages I have there, right? Let me see here, this page right here. Let me just actually open it to see exactly what it is. Okay, so this is an article page about a review for Journalist AI. So essentially a blog page, right? And so what I want to do here is I want Journalist AI to analyze this page. And when I click here, analyze, it will give me a list of links, right, that I can place into my article to update and make it fresh, right? Let me just show you how it works. Actually, you didn't find any suggestions for this one. Let me select another one right here. Let me just select this one. Tips for driving a car as a beginner. Analyze, right? Let me just go open this one to show you what this is, right? This is an article, a test article about karting and tips to driving a car as a beginner, right? So let's say maybe I want to freshen this up, right? Add some new links here, right? What this does is Journalist AI is going to suggest places in which I can add links in, right? To make my article more relevant to today's date, right? So let me just wait for this to generate, and I'll show you exactly what this is. Right, so you see here, it gave me 2 suggestions, right? These are part of the article, right? And it gave me a suggestion of adding a link here on the range of benefits, and I can select the links it has me add. For example, this again is an article about karting, and karting offers a range of benefits for beginners like myself, right? And if I go here and select, for example, this article, top 10 health benefits for go-karting, again, all these articles are relevant. None of this is irrelevant. I select this. I can even preview the link if I want to make sure that it's hyper-relevant. And in this case, it is, right? It talks about the health benefits of karting, and this article also talks about that. And this anchor is included, right, in a paragraph that talks about karting health benefits. So all of this makes sense. All of this has context taken into account, right? So I think this one looks good. I just select it. Right here, when it comes to engine considerations, I can just see here, karting engines 101, go-karting racing. I can just select this one and click apply links. I'm going to show you first that there are no links with this anchor. So if I go here to engine considerations, sorry for this, there's no link here, right? There's no link here. So if I go here, click apply links, it will again take this and apply links here. So just hit refresh right here. As such, and as you can see here, now there's a link here linking out to that article that it did suggest me. Again, all this is relevant. So pretty nice feature right here to update old content, in this case with new links. Again, if you're watching this in the future, this feature might be a bit better. Maybe it'll allow you to change some things, but as of now, as of today, as of the 8th of January 2024, it allows you to update old content with new links. Okay, now in the account tab, you can invite a new user. You can have sub-users in your account. So maybe you have some team members. You can add them here as well. You can also have access to your subscription tab. This is where you can access your subscription, how many credits you have left, right? You can play around with this, however you like it. You can also request a feature right here by clicking here. You can essentially, if you need anything, you can just go here and request it as you like. There's also here a What's New tab. You can see new updates that are coming to journalists, so just click here and see what's new, right? And there's also an explanation for each feature that we come up with. And of course, you can also log out right here. And for support, just click this support bubble right there. And that's it. That's exactly the whole 9 yards. That's exactly all you need to know to use Journalist AI. Again, if you have any questions, if anything is not clear, just go here, this support bubble, and just click here and say, I didn't understand X, help me with Y. Okay, that's it. That's the video. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully after this long video, you'll know exactly how to use it and what for. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.